Hey everybody, this is Steve Pribramsky from the accounting firm of Pribramsky and Zelch down here in the beautiful Florida Keys. And this week we're going to talk about the rules that decide whether a person that works for you is an independent contractor or an employee. This is something that comes up quite a bit, especially down here where we have seasonal type people, and sometimes it's a little bit unclear, how to handle a person. We're going to look at just exactly how the IRS would view this and then apply it to some particular situations. There's three things that the IRS really looks at, three categories. The first is behavior, who has control, your financial arrangement, and then the type of arrangement. With behavior, we're looking at things like instruction and evaluation and training. Instruction is a very important one. That's when, where, and how somebody does their job. It would be good to think about the relationship that I have with my clients. I'm clearly an independent contractor. I kind of work on their files when I want. I work on them where I want, and I work on them how I want. No one's standing over my shoulder saying show up at 9 and leave at 5. Certainly different clients have different requests, but ultimately over the course of a day, a week, a month, I'm the one that decides kind of when, where, and how the work gets done, and hopefully it's done to the client's satisfaction. Beyond that, degree of instruction. Really, my client's not telling me too much. Only they hire us because we know what needs to be done. They don't really tell us from an accounting standpoint what needs to be done. And then degree of control. Again, that sort of goes back to that when, where, and how. It's pretty clear that we have a business relationship, not an employer-employee relationship. And so in this case, actions speak louder than words. Evaluation system is another issue. Generally, we're evaluated annually if we're going to raise the rates, or we ask for regular feedback, but it's obviously very different than a 6-month employee review. Training is another good one. We provide our own training. We get trained on our own with regular annual training. No client provides us training. And then the next and last category is financial control. One of the first areas would be significant investment, and that would be on the part of the independent contractor. We have our own offices, we have our own computers and printers and fax machines, which is not the case with someone who's an employee. Reimbursed expenses is another one. We don't charge for mileage and all the rest. Our fee is all encompassing, whereas an employee would be reimbursed for out-of-pocket lunches and mileage, etc. Opportunity for profit and loss is another one. We get our fee and the rest is up to us, whereas an employee, again, is guaranteed a flat paycheck. Availability of service in the marketplace is another one. We have lots and lots of clients, not just one big client, whereas when you work for somebody, you basically work for one person. Sometimes down here in the Keys, you work for 2 or 3 people, but you get the idea about the idea between an independent contractor and employee. And then finally, method of payment. Are you getting a regular check every week as an employee, or, do you send a bill? Sometimes we take weekly or monthly retainers. That's a fairly regular check, but that's for budgeting purposes. And obviously, if there are things that are done beyond that, extraordinary things, and then the tax return and other stuff, we're billing for a number of things, which is very different than if a person were to get a paycheck. If you're, the last thing I want to talk about is the relationship in terms of the permanency. The best thing if you're an independent contractor is to have a written contract that clearly states you're an independent contractor. Insurance, health insurance is a big deal down here, but if you're an independent contractor, do not be on the employee benefit plan. You're not eligible to be on the employee benefit plan. And that would be a clear violation of the independent contractor versus employee relationship. And the last thing the IRS looks at is the permanency of the relationship. I've had clients for a very long time, so it's not that type of permanency. But again, it more goes to time and control. Do you show up at 9, do you leave at 5, are you there 5 days a week, et cetera, et cetera. And so that's important. If you're unclear, there's really 2 things you could do. One, you can come see us and we'll help you figure it out. Or you could file Form SS8 with the IRS lay out the facts and circumstances, as it's called, and within 6 months they'll get back to you and tell you whether you have an employee or an independent contractor. So that's this week's Business and Tax Update. If you have any questions about this or anything else that you think we could help you with, certainly give us a call or shoot us an email or drop by and see us. We have 3 offices down here in the Florida Keys. We have an office in Key West. We have an office in Marathon. We have an office in Isla Mirada. Or you can find us on the World Wide Web at pribramskyzelch.com. See you next week.